2 books, 2 speedsters. We're going to have to literally keep up with the comics. Let's go. Welcome back to Keeping Up with the Comics. Today we are keeping up with Heroes Reborn number 3 and Flash 770. Of course, if you haven't been keeping up with the Flash for the last few issues, we're in a story now where Wally has finally come, back to DC proper, has come back to the fold. But Wally doesn't want to be the Flash anymore. He doesn't want to be a hero. He's gone through a few rough years, maybe a good 10 rough years, and he just wants to go and be with his family. And Barry, after being convinced, decides that that's okay, and he's going to help Wally by separating Wally from the Speed Force so he can be a regular person, go about a regular life. But of course, this is a Flash book. It doesn't happen that way. And Wally ends up going through time and through the body of other speedsters. So in our first 2 books, 768, 769, he ends up going into the body of a prehistoric speedster, which I don't know if that actually existed. But then he ends up going into the body of Bart Allen. Fast forward to 770, and of course you see Jay Garrick on the cover, and you can kind of guess where he's going to end up. The story itself starts off with Jay Garrick meeting with the president along with a guy named Happy Terrell, who ends up being the Ray. Now, I don't know much about the Ray, much at all. I don't know if he's a Golden Age or Silver Age character. But if you know something about the Ray that I need to know, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. But what the purpose is that there is a artifact and a weapon that the president needs for these 2 heroes to go and pry away from Nazi Germany, because this weapon can change the war and change the world. But our 2 heroes end up getting in a spot of trouble. And when I say a spot of trouble, they are found and basically jailed and tortured for a few weeks upon this ship. And when things are looking their bleakest, when things are looking their worst, Wally West shows up to the body of Jay Garrick like he has with other speedsters. Now, here's where I want to ask a question. I do want to know, because if Wally shows up in the body of a prehistoric speedster, that's thousands and thousands, maybe millions of years ago. No bother with continuity. Wally goes to the far future and ends up in Bart Allen's body. And you can do whatever you want to because it's the far future. But this book here is smack dab in the middle of World War II. So my question is, did this story actually take place without Wally's interference in World War II? Like, is this a canon type story? I know we're dealing with the Omniverse and the fact that continuity doesn't have to be as concrete as it was in the past, but I'm still curious as to whether or not there was a story in the past where Jay met up with the Ray and had to wrestle this particular artifact away from Nazi Germany. Either way, Wally shows up. He still has the Flash and Green Arrow and Mr. Terrific in his ear, and so they all put their heads together and they solve the problem, get the artifact back, and confuse Ray every which way but lose, because I mean, this is the 1940s, and he has no idea why Jay is now talking to people in his head. But that's neither here nor there. They solve the problem. They come out triumphant, and it's an okay story. It doesn't knock your socks off. I don't think it's as good for me because of those questions I have. I don't know if it's as good for me as 768 and 769, but the last page of the book, which I will not show you because I want you to read it. I don't want to spoil it for you because it's great. I am calling it the greatest tease in comic book history. I could be wrong. If you know of some great teases to compare it to, some great last moment cliffhangers to compare it to, let me know about it. But I think this is the greatest tease in history. I may go public with it in a week or two, but right now I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But yeah, go ahead and pick up 770. Like I said, I don't know if it's as strong as 768 or 769. Other people may think it is, but definitely get on this series. I'm definitely looking forward to 771. And yeah, it's the Flash. What more can I say? The next book I want to keep up with is Heroes Reborn, issue number 3. Kind of like issue number 1, I went ahead and snagged the sports card variant for the star of this book, known as the Blur. So, of course, this book is about a world with no Avengers. The Mighty Avengers never formed. Earth's Mightiest Heroes is the Squadron Supreme, which is a Marvel's version of the Justice League, basically. And so they need a speedster, calls himself the Blur. But if you know anything about the Flash, if you watch the Flash TV show, if you read the Flash books, they always start off with, I'm Barry Allen and I'm the fastest man alive, or I'm Wally West, the fastest man alive. This, purposefully, is the most annoying man alive, but he's still good at what he does. So the book is actually a 2-parter. Of course, I for one welcome our backup story overlords, and the book is 1 part story about a particular squadron member, this one being the Blur, and the other part kind of pushes our story proper forward, where we're recognizing that the world's messed up and that somebody needs to fix it, which starts with Blade, of course, and then moves forward. But we're going to start off with the Blur, and the Blur's arch nemesis is basically Wanda Maximoff, but she goes by the Silver Witch, which catch this artwork. This is nice work going on here. But she's going by the Silver Witch because she basically lost her brother in some kind of conflict with the Blur sometime in the past. I don't know how that works. They actually point out a issue of Squadron Supreme. So I don't know if in regular continuity that happened, but that's why she is mad at the Blur. And sooner or later she catches him and she kind of takes his astral body from his physical form to try to let his physical form die out. But the Blur basically figures out he's done some meditation before. He's figured out some things before, and uses a technique that he knows of to kind of regain himself. But what's funny is in this conflict, one of our 2 characters, kind of in the same vein as the other 2 books, recognizes gets a feeling that something's not right here, but the conflict has to go on. And eventually, of course, the Blur overcomes whatever the Silver Witch is trying to do, and he wins the day, and things go back to normal. Maybe. And then the second part of the book starts off in Ravencroft with somebody I think we all know and love. We've got Bullseye here, looking crazy as ever. And there's a whole bunch of talk about restarting the world, resetting the world, what may have gone wrong in the world. And it's one of those comic book things where you're supposed to think, is Bullseye talking about this? But no, there's a surprise character doing the talking in the second part of this book. And I'd like you to check that out and see who the second character is. I think this person may knock your socks off. This is my first encounter with this person while reading. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what this person, I don't want to give a gender, I don't want to give any of that out. But I'm looking forward to seeing what this person does, what they have to do with the story, and looking forward to what we are doing in the future. Of course, this is a weekly book and it's 7 issues deep, so it won't be that long before we get to the conclusion. But I am having fun with Heroes Reborn. And again, I say it every week, I know that Marvel named this Heroes Reborn and they could have named it anything else. I don't think that this has anything to do with the original Heroes Reborn story. I'm not here to speak up for Marvel's marketing genius or lack thereof. But do not let the name Heroes Reborn deter you from picking up this series. It's a really good series. They do a really good job spotlighting the individual heroes of the Squadron Supreme, while also trying to tell this story of this world that's topsy-turvy, and who may or may not be involved with turning everything around. So that was issue 3 of Heroes Reborn. Of course, I'm going to keep up with it. Of course, I've been trying to build my Reborn army, and I hope you enlist. So once again, that was Keeping Up with the Comics. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you saw something you liked. I hope you'll join my Reborn army. And if you enjoyed yourself, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when I drop my Keeping Up with the Comics or any other content that I drop. I usually do live streams for New Comic Book Day on Wednesday night, but hit that notification bell so you'll be notified. If I missed anything, if you wanted to point anything out about the books in the video, or if you just want to stop by and say hi, go ahead, leave it in the comments. They're always encouraged. But as I always say, love yourself, love others, and I will be back in a flash.